The project began with a simple question: what does a scientist look like? The answer led to a prestigious national award for my next guest. Here to tell us about it is Wolfson High School freshman Peter Fernández Dulay. Peter, welcome. Thanks for being here.
Hi, thank you so much. It's
Uh,
such an honor.
Thanks for skipping class to be here. Is that something you had to actually do today? You had to arrange to be out of school.
I did actually,
All
yeah.
right. Well, thanks for your presence and congrats on the award. That's wonderful news. So you initially got the idea to research gender bias in artificial intelligence
Mhm.
thanks to your younger sister. Tell us a little bit about how that started. How'd that happen?
Okay, so it all started about, it was in mid-October. So Halloween was around the corner, and my sister wanted to do a creative writing project. So she had a creative writing project assigned for her class, and it was about a
Last
mad scientist
last Halloween.
last year, because this is based off of research that I did in eighth grade. So I was in eighth grade
Okay.
last Halloween, and so she had already made her story about the mad scientist, and the character looked like her. She imagined herself as a mad scientist. So she goes to Canva because she wants a visual. And me and her, we go to the Canva Magic Media AI tool, and we type up mad scientist. And she expected the mad scientist to look like her. And she got old, light skinned men that look like Albert Einstein in lab coats. And she was really discouraged by that. So that really made me think and delve deep into the question of how AI imagines younger generations in STEM.
And so Canva, for people who aren't familiar, it's kind of a graphics building platform that people can like use to make images,
Yes.
or design, things that they're looking to design. And so this is one of many kinds of programs that incorporate some form of AI, especially in search tools.
Hmm.
And so she's searching for mad scientist. She was obviously disappointed and surprised by the results. How about you? Were you surprised when you saw what came up?
I was very surprised because I never imagined that an AI would kind of variate the same image. It was basically variations of the same person. So I was honestly really shocked by the results because I was never really aware until I started my project about how baked AI bias is into an algorithm.
Interesting. And so, how did you decide to turn that discovery into a research project? We should say this is a project that you called Career Bias in AI Data, ultimately, was what the name of the project. How did you
Yes.
decide that you wanted to turn it into kind of an investigation?
So, my science teacher, Mr. and I, Mr. Gary, we had to do a science project. It was assigned for a class, and if we wanted, we could submit it to the local fair. So, what I decided to do is that I just went to Canva one day and I started generating more images of scientists. And I'm like, okay, so how can I refine this? So, since I saw that, my inspiration from my sister searching up mad scientists, I decided to use the same algorithm. So I started like mass generating images, and I decided to use five rising STEM careers. So that kind of pushed me to refine, that generation and switch from, like my sister generating mad scientists, but I chose the careers this time.
So,
So
what did you choose? What careers did you pick to look for?
it was data scientist, actuary, information security analyst, operation research analyst, and data scientist was the last one.
Okay.
Hmm.
And so you're searching those up and you're looking not just in Canva this time, but you sort of broadened your search uh, um, tools that you were using.
Sorry.
You used not just searching in Canva, you were looking at some other platforms as well for
Yes.
these terms.
Yeah, so I used Dolly, Canva because that was the one that my sister used. Um, Dolly, Canva, Midjourney, and Shutterstock AI. And Shutterstock AI was actually the one when I explained my project later about my results, it was the one that was the least biased, but it was the only one that required pay. Because all the other ones, the Dolly, Midjourney, and Canva were like completely free.
I gotcha. And so they're programs that people might even generate or kind of gravitate towards because they're free as opposed to the paid service in Shutterstock. So you're
Yes.
searching, you're looking for these images. And did you consistently uncover bias?
I did actually. And I focused on gender bias and image generation. I was analyzing AI bias in the bigger sense. I'm analyzing AI bias through image generation, but it can be done in so many other ways. But so what I saw is that it's not specifically gender bias. I did measure the gender bias, but I saw so many other forms of bias. Like, for example, the image of a scientist. So when I was looking, I saw a lot of light skinned men in lab coats with labs in the background. And that gives a wrong sense of what it is to be a scientist because I just won this national award and I wouldn't consider myself a sciencey person. I started this year. I like reading, I like debate, I'm like an ELA guy, and I don't have access to labs. So it gives a wrong sense to younger generations of what it is to participate in STEM. And that's kind of another bias that I uncovered among many others.
And so you have an understanding of why this happens, right? Sort of, I mean, as you say, it's baked into the AI
Mhm.
because AI is based on sort of our societal stereotypes in a way.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And so what is it that you ultimately presented in the research that you did for the competition?
Okay, so a brief summary of my project is that I analyzed 2,000 images using 5 rising STEM careers, as I said before. So what I did is that, let's say, for example, a data scientist is one of them. So I'd go to Canva, I generate 100 images of data scientists, and go to the next one until I have 100 images of data scientists in all 4 AI algorithms. So then I'd record the number of men and women, and then I'd compare that ratio to the actual percentage. So let's say that in real life, 30% of data scientists in the world globally are men or women, sorry. The AI would always exhibit a lower percentage of women when I analyze those pictures, except for information security analysts. So 4 out of those 5 careers were had a lower percentage of women than they did in real life.
All right. I do want to just show for the folks that are watching our live stream your reaction to the announcement of this award that you won. It's really cute. Let's just take a look and a listen.
And the DoD STEM Talent Award of $10,000 goes to, from Jacksonville, Florida, Peter Fernández Dulay.
So it's very, very cute. You could tell you're just sort of overwhelmed by that. So we should say this was the Department of Defense STEM Talent Award.
Hmm.
It's a top prize in the Thermo Fisher Scientific Junior Innovators Challenge, which promotes STEM for sixth, seventh, and eighth graders. So what was it like? First of all, I mean, you were part of a huge pool, ultimately narrowed down to just a handful of finalists and one of five winners.
Hmm. So honestly, I would have never seen myself last year in the ceremony room right there. I knew that it was already a miracle, getting there. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like the greatest opportunity I would have never expected to get into the Thermo Fisher alone. And when my name was called, I couldn't believe it. When I saw it, because I already knew that I had won when I saw Jacksonville, Florida, because I was the only person from Jacksonville. There's only 2 people from Florida. I was in complete shock. I thought that, like, am I dreaming? Like, is this real? And as I walked on the stage, it was just like, I don't know. I had like an adrenaline rush. It was one of the best experiences that I've ever had.
We've got a call from Jane on the South Side. Good morning, Jane. Go ahead.
Good morning. I want to congratulate the young man. I think it's a wonderful accomplishment that we need to set the bar higher for each of us to learn more about AI. I'm participating in an AI certificate class at UNF. I'm a senior citizen, and I'm learning from this class. It's really amazing to have a local resource. And I think we all need to learn more about AI. There's some good fictional books coming out about AI as well.
Yeah, Jane, thanks so much. I mean, it really is an impactful technology, Peter, and it's something that I'm guessing you're encountering more in the classroom, also out of the classroom. How is it currently being used by your peers? How is it being used in education? Where are you seeing AI in that, just kind of in your day to day life at this point?
So let's go back to the creative writing project. That was a class that my sister had, and I also did it last year for my creative writing class. And my teacher, Mr. Groff, he lets us generate AI images. So he lets us go to Canva and generate AI images to provide a visual for our stories. So that's just one of the ways that I personally have encountered AI bias or AI content, and then also for um authentication, because a lot of people are cheating on their assignments and using AI more and more as a tool to kind of complete their assignments. So AI plagiarism checkers is also another thing that I've been seeing. And lastly, um Sora AI. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's had a huge boom in like the last 3 weeks. And
This is sort of like the image generator that is very easy to kind of create deepfakes with.
yes, exactly, exactly. So I have seen a lot of people using Sora AI. A lot of people have the app. A lot of my friends.
And how do they use it? Where are you seeing it?
So we do deep fakes of each other, and there's just like a lot of content on there. So we just like scroll and see like what people have done. And what's really shocking is that the line is getting blurred between what is a real video and what's not, because sometimes I honestly can't tell the difference. So that really kind of stresses that it's super important to expose these stereotypes before we know what's AI generated and what's not.
Is it concerning to you when you see a deep fake or somebody is doing a deep fake of you that is indistinguishable? Or do you see it being used in ways that are not helpful or are harmful?
I haven't seen any harmful ones so far, and no one's ever done a deepfake of me, but there certainly can be, negative motives to do it, and I can definitely see some harmful things. And all of this content that's getting generated, that deepfake image is gonna be in the Sora AI's algorithm system. So this is just baking the bias more into the algorithm.
Or baking the fake narrative more into
Exactly.
yeah.
Fake narrative, yeah.
So I understand that you are, interested in becoming a psychologist. How do you think AI is something that could be used in that field?
Okay, so just to clarify, there was a mistake with the resume there, psychologist. I actually want to be it's pretty similar. I do want to delve into neurology, kind
Okay.
of like that psychology aspect, but I want to be a patent attorney. And
Oh,
so you may think like, "Oh, that's a lawyer, why are you doing science?" But a patent attorney is patent law is the only field in which you need a science degree in because you're always being exposed to innovation. So
interesting.
I do want to delve into psychology as opposed to being a psychologist, but my next projects are definitely going to be I'm starting to delve deep into that area of AI and neurology, how it affects human behavior and how people react to AI content.
Okay. And we should say that when you won this, you were attending Landon. Now you're at Wolfson. You're a freshman
Yes.
at Wolfson. And so you've got a few years ahead of you. But obviously, AI is going to be a big part of all of our future.
Mhm.
Is it something that generally you think is going to be a net positive or a net negative?
I would say in the long term, it is going to be a net positive because there's so many benefits that we're getting from AI. It's facilitating so many aspects of our lives. But as it gets integrated into business and all of these other things, it's very important to monitor these data sets because an AI algorithm works on data sets and it just regurgitates the information that it gets from data sets. And these data sets come from everywhere on the internet. So it's crucial, I would say, if we want AI to be a positive change instead of a negative change to monitor these data sets. And
Who has access to those data sets though?
the CEOs of companies, and there are specific people that monitor those data sets. And there is already um things being monitored, but since there's so few studies on AI bias, it's really important to make studies on this and expose these biases so that monitoring systems are more transparent and they get more imperative. They become more imperative.
Well, you are an impressive kid, Peter. It is so nice to meet you. Peter Fernandez Dulay, taking home a big prize. Thanks so much for being here and talking to us about it. Congrats.
Thank you so much.